Hello. Yeah, you can have 4. Hi, guys. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I think I'm going to do some bunnies. Tiny bunnies. Little baby bunnies. Where did I put the brush for this set? Oh, duh. It's right in the purse. Oops. If you guys have not seen this one yet, this one's a banger. I love this little purse. It's so cute. And this is pretty sturdy. Okay. All right. So if you're curious, this comes with a little watercolor pad of paper. It comes with this, which you can use to spray your paints. I'll do that in a second. It comes with a brush. Not right now, no. I'm trying to go live right now, honey. You can finish it later, okay? And then this will just pop right back in here for you if you're interested. It comes with the brush, it comes with the paper, it comes with the paint, it comes with a little metallic clip, which basically means you can attach it to this because it's metallic, which is cute. I really love this rose gold color. Beautiful. And what else is, oh, it comes with this cutie little ring. And of course the travel purse, which I just love. So again, I'm going to do definitely some bunnies. I'm definitely in my bunny era, as it were. All right, I'm going to just spray this a little bit just to pre-wet those paints. And then we're going to get started. I'm deciding. So these are some of the previous paintings I've done on them. I got this one. Hold on, guys, just a second. You're killing me, dude. You keep interrupting my live. What's up? They're in my bag? I don't know. Just please put them back when you're done because I don't want to lose them. My daughter's like, I literally just started live. I've not gone live in ages, and she's interrupted me 5 times. So that's so funny. All right. I'm going to come back and I'm going to turn this around because you can paint on both sides of these, by the way. So like this one, this side, this side, this side. They're pretty sturdy. Funto's really good about their paper. Their paper is pretty thick. Don't usually have any problems with their paper. I'm actually going to use a pencil first, though, to sketch this out, just because I haven't painted bunnies in a couple of days, so I want to feel a little bit more confident, and sometimes sketching is a bit more comforting, at least if you've been doing it for a while. For a very long time, I did not sketch because I was not able to draw. Hi, Giota. How are you? Actually, I'm going to open up my sketchbook as a source, as a reference, because you guys have seen some of my posts lately. So wait, this is not the right one. Oh, it's the other one. I'm sorry. It's this one. And you guys have seen some of my posts, right? My bunnies. Posted this one today. So if I'm going to do a bunny like this, in that little piece of paper and this is the original. This is the OG. And if I have time, maybe I'll do one like that too. But having it next to me is really super duper helpful. All right. And just so you know, the watercolor pencils do not come with this set, but it does give me a bit of comfort to sketch a little bit with it first. Let's dance. And then I like to think of these ears as kind of like a heart shape, like a wonky little heart shape. And then pull the head up a little bit and down. And then that's probably a little bit too low. We'll make it work. If I screw it up, I screw it up, right? It's just paper. And this can be blended out because it's watercolor pencil. All right, that shape is good enough. And then I'm going to pull this out a little bit on the bottom because the base always seems to extend on that chocolate bunny a little bit. And then we're just going to paint that in. Thank you, Giota. So what's everybody up to today? Anything fun? Does this palette have brown? Yes, it does. It's like a Van Dyke brown. And I'm going to go ahead and just add this to my bunny. And I'm not going to be super precious about details or anything. I'm just going to go in and paint this whole guy brown. I might add some color in here to like make it a little bit more interesting, like maybe some oranges, like more milk chocolate colors. And then just spread it out. It is. So when I picked up my kids today, I live in the city, and parts of the city are not very good about flooding. It's an old city. So there were a few spots where I had to go back and turn around because the flooding under bridges was so bad. So I was a little late picking my kids up today. But we had a lot of rain this morning and a lot of rain this afternoon. So I'm going to throw in some orange in here. I just want it to warm up just a little bit. I'm just going to spread it around, and then I'll add some more brown as well. Also, I really like an orange chocolate. I actually think that's one of my favorite chocolates. Not that orange chocolate is actually orange. It's like my favorite. Orange chocolate sponge candy. Oh, it's in the rain. I live in California. It's really hot here right now. Oh, you wish you were in the rain. Honestly, I am not a complainer of rain. I like the rain a lot, especially in the summer. It's just very, I don't know, like sitting with the windows open and listening to the rain, or at night when it rains. I love it. So if you're not getting any rain and you would like some, I will send you all of my rain vibes as best as I can. That's not a bad shape. That's actually kind of okay. I do want to put in a bit more darker colors here. So I'm adding a little bit of a red. It's like I don't know all of my colors very well, admittedly. I want to say carmine, but it's not really a carmine. But I'm just trying to warm this up because the palette doesn't have a sepia in it. Or sienna, not a sepia. It doesn't have a sienna in it. So I'm trying to warm up the dark brown that is in this palette with just some of those oranges and those reds. And I really don't mind it at all. I don't mind the colors kind of blending together and kind of making magic happen. And down here, I want that to be a little bit longer. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of the brown in there. So I just expanded it out with a little bit of water. And then I'm gonna throw some of that dark color into some of the corners and shadow areas of this bunny. And just let it blend out on its own here with the water. Okay, this feels pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna help that dry, I think. So I'm gonna use my heat gun for that. Cutie cutes. And then we'll make sure to add in some of those standard details of this bunny, but with some darker tones and probably some pencil. All right, let's get an up close look at this guy. Not bad. Honestly, though, zooming in sometimes does it better. So you can see it's pretty dry. You can see the texture on the paper for this particular set. It's cold press. If you're not familiar with cold press paper is like a textured paper. And in watercolor, textured paper can give off really beautiful textures when you're painting on them. All right, let's go ahead and go into the eye. I think I'm just going to do, let's just do a little bit of brown with this brush. Let's see how good I can hold my hand steady. If you do not have a steady hand, feel free to use a watercolor pencil. Those are perfect for something like that. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to add a few more detail parts here. So where the leg is, where the bunny butt is, I'm actually going to sharpen this up a little bit more so that this kind of, it makes it easier for me to come in and add a little bit more shadow, like it's laying on top of a podium or sitting on top of a podium. Also going to make what I like to call a number 2. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start a number 2 shape like this. And then I'm going to have it come down. I got to use the tip of my brush though here. And then go like this. And then pull that foot down. So it's like a number 2. Do you see it? And then in the area where there's like this part, I'm just going to add some water and darken that up for the shadow. And then depending on what animal you're working with, some number 2s need to be bigger or smaller. I'm also going to add some shadow over here around that eye that I painted right in that section. So this is kind of where I want the dark brown to really kind of pop off a little bit in areas where I'm going to have shadows. So like over here where the ear is tucked behind, I want that to be a little bit darker. No, actually, Geode, it came with the set, the one that I have pinned below. So if you're in the States, I don't know if you are, Geode, I don't remember. This is the set that I'm using, and it came with the paints, but it also came with the paper, and it came with a little ring, and it came with a clip, and then this little water spray bottle. Like it comes with all of those things, and the ring. Which someone asked, is it a paint palette? Like, could you paint off of it? Probably. But I would make a giant mess because number 1, it's got this bottom on it. And number 2, this would get all wet and then it would drip everywhere. So, I mean, it could be a paint palette, but I wouldn't trust it to not make a mess. Oh, you're in Texas. It is a really fun gift. And honestly, for those girls who are a little bit fancy, which I'm a little bit fancy. I'm not a lot of fancy, but I'm a little bit. I love the idea of going to a coffee shop because I'm not really a plein air artist. I don't like going out in the wild and painting out in nature because unless I'm at a picnic table, I don't like sitting on the ground because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get back up again, my poor knees. But this is cute. Like you carry this with you. You could probably put like some credit cards in here with your paint stuff and you're good to go if you want to go and get coffee and hang out at a coffee shop and everything's in one place. If you put the ring on your non-dominant thumb, that's true, Danielle. So like this, ow. So like here, so I'm holding it like that. I could. I think you give me too much trust. Like knowing me, I would move my hand around while I'm talking and then I would end up spilling it anyway. But if that's for you, you should totally do it. I'm not sure how comfortable. Let me try it. I'm going to try it just for you, Danielle. So let's put it on here. Let's see how it feels first of all. Does it feel comfortable? Because that's important too. You want the water to kind of move around. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more water on this. It's a very fancy paint palette then, that's for sure, if we're using it for that. Okay. I want the bottom to be a bit more shadowed again, like that. And then maybe back in here. You know what, Danielle? I think you're right. I think this could totally work if you put it on your thumb. You're so smart. Goodness. All right, let's give this ear a little curve, like it's an indent. Maybe do a little bit of a shadow line here, that bunny face. We don't want to do too much because it's small, right? And sometimes it can get real messy real quick on something small. I'm going to make some grass lines here. So that's usually what happens in this section, is it's like there's grass there. And then you've got your little footy, and I'll water that down so it's not so messy. Also going to put that little bunny tail and darken that up too. I'm also going to fill this in a little bit, not too much. I still want a highlight line here, but I'm going to pull that in. Vanessa, how are you? You know what? I love the orange accents in here. And again, I did it because the brown is pretty dark in the palette. Like this palette does not have an burnt sienna tone. It has this one here, which is a dark color, like a dark brown. I can show you the swatch. Hold on, because I have it here in the base. Okay, so this is the swatch. Those are all the paints in the set. And I added some of the orange. And yes, that was the color I was looking for, the cadmium red. I added a little bit of orange and a little bit of cadmium red to the brown on the page because I'm terrible at mixing on a palette. So I know I don't come on very much. Honestly, I'm just so busy in a good way, not in a bad way. But I mean, work is good. Things are good. Just been busy. And honestly, coming live is a whole other skill set, which again, not a bad skill set, but sometimes I've spent all day teaching, and sometimes I just want to come home and be antisocial, if that makes sense. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a middle school math teacher by day. So I'm not actually an art teacher in real life. All right, and then maybe I'll put in a few little speckles in the chest. Because why not? And then I'm going to darken up this eye one more time. I think even over here too. But I want that eye to fill in probably with another color. I'm actually going to soften up these speckles too. I'm going to pull that down here as well. I do definitely struggle sometimes with putting down too much pigment and not letting the transparencies build by waiting for it to dry. It's not my strong suit. I'm impatient. But at the same time, I kind of don't mind. Like, part of me is like, you know what? I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to create something that matches someone who's been doing this for, years and years. I can make it me. I can make it work for me. Making it work for me doesn't mean I have to follow all of the quote unquote art rules of the world, I say quote unquote because, there are guidelines to follow, but that doesn't mean you can't bust through them like the Kool-Aid man. Because ultimately, who cares? If someone likes your art, they like your art. They don't care about the rules you used, Oh, thank you, Adrienne. Hi, Kay. How are you? All right. So I'm going to dry this one more time. And then I think I'm going to try and get this to become a yellow eyeball. That is actually kind of tough. Oh, look. See, I got some paint on my hand because I'm not paying attention. But, I mean, it kind of works. Oh, I'm sorry. On the bright side, it's midweek. We're on the back end of the week. We've only got 2 more days left before the weekend. So for someone like me, I enjoy the end of a Wednesday. It feels like Thursday Eve. And then when I'm on Thursday, it feels like Friday Eve. Okay, so we got that. I want to go into that eye. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm going to grab some of this one right here. I'm going to paint into this brown section. Now with watercolor, there is a transparency that can impact painting over something. So see, I'm going in with this yellow, right? But it's not super vibrant because it's a transparent paint. So if you want a paint that's going to be more opaque, it might be good for you to use, in this case, an acrylic marker or maybe a colored pencil, or what else could you use? You could use acrylic pens. You have lots of options. But I wanted to see how that looks. It actually doesn't look too bad. Okay. So while that dries, I'm trying to decide. I'm going to give it a nose, I think. I think I'm just going to do a a straight little nose. I'm going to bring that down like that. The eyeball is going to be blue, kind of like those classic ones, but I think I might have to use, I'll start with a pencil. We'll see how bright that is. And then we'll go from there. Okay. This blue, do I have a more bright blue? This one might be better. This one? Let's try that one. Let me sharpen it though, assuming I have my sharpener. I'm always looking for my sharpener, but I found it this time. It was nearby. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and, is this dry? Is the question. Yes, it is. You know, it's a good watercolor pencil if it pops off the page, which not a lot of watercolor pencils do. They're never as pigmented as I want them to. This is not in my shop, but I love these pencils and they're affordable. These are Blick Art Pop, and they don't have a presence here on TikTok, but they're affordable and they're very pigmented. I love them very much. It's not too bad. I don't mind that guy. That yellow is not poppy enough though for me. So I'm thinking I might have to grab an acrylic marker because I just want more. And sometimes watercolor is not enough. And I don't have time to fully think out whether or not I'm using enough transparency to maintain the white on the page. Sometimes it's just easier to make the thing you want to make and then go back over it with something else. That's what I do. I'm a fixer. I'm a problem solver. I don't always think ahead. Now that's very bright. I don't mind it though. I'm going to probably go in it again though, because it's not as blue as I want it to be, if that makes sense. Hi, Gwen. How are you? Oh, hello, April. It's so good to see everybody. What else do I have over here that I could use for the blue? I have so many acrylic markers, guys. It's not even funny. This color work, maybe, possibly. Let's see how dry this is. Okay, it's dry. Ba-ba-ba. Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. And then I have to decide if I want to add anything else. I mean, I could go in acrylic over the top. I don't think I'm going to do that because that's kind of enough. And there's some really cute watercolor textures in here. Thank you, friend. I could put Easter grass in here if I wanted to. I don't know, man. I might just leave it for right now. Is this dry? It's pretty dry. It's pretty good. All right, so here's the plan. I think I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to do him again. I know, but duty. I'm going to do him again in my sketchbook in a basket, like in an Easter basket. At least I think that's what I'm thinking. And we'll do some like wonky green grass around him and maybe some eggs. Thanks, Steffi. Let me see. I do love an acrylic marker, but honestly, I use them as a fix more than I use them for anything else. So guys, I'm actually posting this as a tutorial tomorrow, but I'll just do one with you guys right now. And I'll have him a little higher in the sketchbook. So let's zoom this out a little bit. And I might switch up my paint palette because I'm going to be painting bigger and this is a little bit tiny. So, I mean, it's great for this because you've got all these little tiny, and plus you get this like awesome brush to go with the size and stuff. But I think I'm going to skip out on using this palette. I'm going to move to another one. So it might not look exactly like this, but I will keep this on the side as a reference. I love using my own art as a reference. Now, to be clear, do I copy things from time to time? Yes, of course I do, because I don't know how to make things. Like, I haven't made everything in the world. I don't know how to create everything. But I practice it a lot and a lot and a lot until I figure out a way to make it mine or mine-ish, right? And it's not like I'm selling this. So if I copied it off of something, I copied it off my own stuff today. But I mean, I had to use a reference for this somewhere. My brain is not photographic. I definitely need something next to me while I'm working. Okay. So I don't know if I can zoom this out any more than I've already zoomed out. I think that's pretty good. Let's go in with some pencil again. This is a Stabilo pencil. Was I using a Stabilo pencil before? Oh dear God, I probably put it in my other one. What was the thing you were wearing on your thumb earlier? Oh, this thing. This is the little ring/palette that comes with the purse. So you could use it, and this was actually Danielle's idea. You could use it as a paint palette if you would like. I mean, you can still do it on these paints. The only thing is to do it on this paints, which I do, right? This only opens so far. It opens like a little bigger than 90 degrees. So you would have to tip your paint like this to make that a palette, but you could do it here as well, which is a very nice idea. I just don't know if I will do that regularly. Like I move my hands a lot and I'm just afraid of spilling it all over myself. But I think it's very thoughtful, like on Funto's part to come up with that stuff. I think it's a great idea. Oh, oopsie. Look, I'm not going to promote things I personally don't like. I like these a lot. And as soon as I get some time off, which I have a couple weeks before Easter, I'm totally taking this little set with me to a coffee shop, and my kids can hang out at home by themselves and I can go paint in peace with my little paint set. I'm going to put this all back right now because if I don't do it right now, I'm going to regret it later. I am going to keep out the pad. And then look how cute that is. Like it's a little spray bottle. So if you need to re-wet your paints, super cute. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, it also comes with a clip. So there is a magnetized. It stays attached to this as well. I'm guessing if you want to do more plain air style, you can clip your paper to this and you can magnetize it to stuff on the inside as well. I actually just love the colors. I'm not big into bright pinks generally, but I love a muted pink. I mean, good on Funto for coming up with something so mindful. I think it covers all their bases. And I will say, years ago when I first started using Funto, I was not super into their paper, and their paper has gotten so much better. Oh my goodness. You know what? You'll love it. You'll love it. You're not going to regret it at all. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to switch up my paints. I'm going to use my Meeden paints. They're just so accessible. The only thing I don't like about them is they're giant. But, you know, a lot of paint palettes are giant, especially the more affordable ones, because they want you to spend more. If I can even open this, there we go. They just want you to spend more, which I understand. But I love these paints. You guys, a lot of you who've been following me for a while know I love these paints. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side. You won't be able to see it, but no, it's here in spirit while I'm working. All these books I found. Hi, CJ. I couldn't figure out watercolor work really well for gouache. Oh, have you been working on gouache? Have you been creating gouache? That's super cool. All right, let's do a basket. I already did one. I should probably use this as a reference. And we're just going to keep it simple. Let's not be super fancy with this. That is a little bit wonky wide, so I'm just going to bring that in a little bit more like that. I'm going to pull this in. And then I'm going to do a nice, big, tall little top on that. And then we can pull in this as well. I might actually make more of a bubble on the outside, but for right now, we're going super sketchy with my watercolor and it's fine. All right, and then we're going to definitely put this little guy kind of on top in here as well. Okay, so, and I'm not going to be as precious about this drawing, I think. I'm just going to go in and do some real light sketchy bits. So let's go like this. We'll give it its little heart ears, which is how I like to think of it. We're going to make this a little bit pointier. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this around. Make sure that little bunny butt is sticking out. And then the chest pops out a little bit, pulls in, and then the feet pop out like that. Okay. And then we'll do grass and we'll do eggs. And actually, maybe I'll put the eggs in here now too. And if I want, I can paint over them later if I don't want them in there. So let's just do a couple of decent sized eggs. We'll do them behind the bunny. Let's do a blue one. Oh, just broke my pencil. And then we'll do a pink one. Pink, blue, and yellow are always good for Easter, I think. And then maybe another one tucked behind. That's pretty good. And then if we want to build up the grass around it, we can also potentially put jelly beans in there if we want to. All right. I'm also just going to take this as an opportunity to make some of those straight lines across. Like that. Excuse me. This is so wonky wobbly right now. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, I did not do it in a straight line. But you know what? I don't care. Let's just do it. Wonky is beautiful. Or as I like to tell my kids, weird is beautiful. What paintbrush am I using right now? This one? Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this one. I would have already used my eraser like 5 times regardless of it being a sketch. Well, these I can't erase because these are like just your standard watercolor pencils. So my erasing is when I go in over it with water is I will blend out some of these wonky lines or paint over them. So right now I'm just going in with water and picking up some of the pigment like in here. I'm just going to paint over this if I don't like that line, which you can see it's already starting to blend out, which is awesome. Weird is beautiful. It was funny. I had a sign in my car for the longest time when my kids were little saying weird is beautiful. And I remember my kids always saying it like anytime we were like, oh, that's weird. And then we'd be like, but weird is beautiful. And that disappeared a long time ago. Like, I don't remember what happened to it. Actually, I do remember. I think my car was stolen and that thing disappeared because it got destroyed when my car was stolen. That's a whole other story. But when that happened, I just didn't have it again and I didn't buy a new one. And the other day we were in the car and I was like, I don't know what I was talking about, but I was like, that's weird. And my middle child, who's 11, was like, yeah, but weird is beautiful. And I was like, oh, that's the sweetest. I love it so much. Oh, this one's brown too. So I'm just kind of dipping in my browns. I am not precious about using the perfect colors. I have a general understanding, but so much of it has been naturally learned, not in a classroom, but just on my own experience and watching others create online. I've never taken a formal art class before. I grew up in a house that was very artsy, but I stopped taking art classes when I was in 7th grade because you couldn't take them in 8th. There were no 8th grade art classes unless you were considered of the enriched art person. And I was big into music at the time. So I picked the music track. You couldn't do both when you were in high school. You had to pick one. So I picked music. And when I went to college for elementary education, which had really not too much to do with either of those things, except I always knew I liked art. I just didn't think that I was good enough at it, especially knowing how good my parents were at it. Like my father was a carpenter, is a carpenter. He just doesn't do it anymore because of his physical issues. But my mother is very crafty. She would do ceramics. My grandmother had her own kiln in the house. My other grandmother was sewing clothing. So it's in my genes for sure. But I've never, yes, right, Gwendolyn, I've never taken a class. Life is my class, you know? So I'm very much of the belief system that you don't need any sort of formal instruction to be an artist. You don't need to follow any rules to be an artist. Being an artist is creating something. And there is no rule about the mediums that you use or the guidelines that you use. The guidelines help. They can be really great tools, but they should not be the determiner or the way in which we classify ourselves as artists. If you can create something with bottles, like I'm thinking, or not even bottles, I'm thinking like Pepsi cans. There's a artist couple on the Interworld that basically cuts all aluminum tin on bottles and turns it into this beautiful like art that like blows in the breeze and makes these beautiful painting, or like they feel like a painting. And they did not follow the rules. They just did what felt good, and they're, being recyclers by taking all sorts of cool things and turning it into something that can be art instead of go into a trash can, you know? So I just love art so much. And any way we can get it, friends, we should get it. As long as it's not at the expense of someone else, you know? All right. Yes. Yes. My father was a carpenter slash he helped, like, he did a lot of house remodeling when I was a kid. He actually built the entire top floor of my parents' house and the back side of the house. I think their house was like 2 bedrooms when they bought it, and it was 7 bedrooms when I left. Well, still is, because they still live there. So thankfully they have enough health that they can still live on their own. And my brother helps them a lot because he lives with them as well. So yeah, it's really it's cool to go there and to know that my father's hands built that, you know? I just talked so much. I'm so sorry. Are they? It's not at all, CJ. I don't think it is for everybody. I mean, it definitely, the funny part is I didn't think it was in my genetics. Like, I knew the love for it and the desire to want to do that was there, but I never thought I was good enough. And not because anyone ever told me I wasn't good enough, but because I always just consciously compared myself to others. And I was like, well, I can't do that. Or if I would try, I'd be like, well, mine doesn't look as good as anybody else's. So, but when I started creating back in 2020, I found, or I tried to mimic artists that were going in super loose with just doodles. So like those big watercolor like abstracts with flower doodles in them. I leaned heavy into that because I'm like, I can make that beautiful. I don't know. I'm not going to make it as beautiful as them, but I can certainly try. It feels accessible to me. And that's where I started. I started with very loose watercolor flowers, mostly just blobs. And I turned those blobs into doodles. And then eventually, after a year or so, I started actually doing the doodles and practicing my doodles so I could be a better drawer, illustrator, whatever you want to call it. Okay. This is definitely a little more orange than I want it to be, but I'll make it work. Thanks, Kay. All right. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to pull this around. So I'm trying to be careful because this is wet and I am not interested in mixing right now. I mean, I can. I don't really want to. Okay. And then I'm going to take that same color and I'm going to try and make like really, this is pretty dark right now, really light line work with the tip of my brush to kind of create that weave inside these sections. It almost looks like wood. Like it probably shouldn't make it look so much like wood, but at this point, does it really matter? We're going to say no. We're going to just say this is fun. And we're not going to try and make something that looks authentically like a basket. The impression of a basket can be just as important. Okay, and then I'm going to rub this out a little bit like a dry brush. And I'm going to do it up here too. And I'm going to darken this section up here. And I still might go over this with acrylic because I did a really cute little ruffle on the other basket. And because I've already painted this, I'm just afraid it's not going to pop very well. All right. I want this to be a more chocolatey bunny. So let me get a little bit darker of a color here. This is going to be more umber, burnt umber. Yeah. And then I'm just going to tuck this in some of these areas. I don't want to repaint the whole thing. I just want to put it in the areas where I know there's maybe a little more shadow. And then I'll do the eye again, nice and big, like that. And then I'm going to do that number 2 again. And that'll be the leg. And then I'm just going to shade that part in a little bit. But again, some of this is still pretty wet. I need to get my heat gun soon. Otherwise, I'm going to make a big boo-boo. And there's going to be color and brown and blue all mixing together, which is not my intention. I do not want that to happen. I mean, not that it's bad if it does. It's just not what I'm looking to do today. I want a bit more control. Okay. That looks pretty good. It almost looks real. Like the bunny looks more realistic than chocolate bunny-ish, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some heat. Just so I can guarantee that I don't lose control of this one, you know? But thanks for hanging out today, everybody. I literally came home and I thought to myself, I have not gone live in a while and I should try going live and hanging out with my people. I have started going live on my Patreon and I do that once a month at the end of the month. So if you're interested in seeing that on a more regular basis, I usually do it in the mornings on Saturdays. And that's usually the last Sunday of the month. It is supposed to be chocolate. That's okay. That's okay. I'm trying to think what I want to do next. And I have a kitten in front of me that's being used to distract me. But she's very cute. The kitten is also very cute. She is purring. So I don't know if you guys were here during the summer, but we rescued a kitten during the summer. And we still have her. We found her up in the front of our yard. And she was tiny. And now she's like the biggest cat in the house. Like and not that like she's overweight, the biggest cat in the house. She's just big. Like she's completely outpaced the other 2 cats that we have. And I'm just adding a little bit of shadow here and there. And by shadow, I mean like more color. And I'm definitely going to make this, I'm going to do the eye the same way I did this one with the like blue in the middle. Huh? I cannot right now. Well, I'm not making that promise. We'll see, because I've discussed this with you yesterday about that situation. Yes? Okay. All right. What am I doing next, guys? Oh, hi, Pri. How are you? And then I know this area, I think I put this like the little grass stripe in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet because it's looking so much more like a bunny than a chocolate bunny. I'm going to fill this in, I think. There. All right. I'm going to go back in again on the basket. And it's just a little bit of a darker line. This looks so much like wood. I did not mean for that to happen. Maybe I should lean into it. Excuse me. And actually what I might do is I might darken this up underneath. Like this is like a lighter piece over the top. And then maybe expand this out a little bit. Like that. I'm just going to add a little bit more brown to the outside here. Ooh, that line is still there, but I'll make it work. I'll make it work. That's where mixed media comes in. And then I think around the edges, I'm going to try and make a little like weave. Yeah, that looks okay, right? Okay. That got a little out of control. And oh God. Oh no. All right, we're just gonna keep going. Just keep going. We're not gonna let it bother us. We're not gonna let it get, make us give up. We'll work with it. We'll make it work. There we go. Close my eyes, take me away to I'm making this out a little bit wider. Might be a bad choice, but don't know until you try. I think it's working. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Okay. I'm going to go in one more time, a little bit darker underneath here. I really want this to pop out a little bit more than it currently is. I just accidentally expanded it out. Oops. I'm going to add a little bit more into here as well. And then on the edges, pull some water in, pull some water in. It's almost like a glaze at this point on those sections. And then I'm going to definitely do some pencil work over the top and maybe I'm debating if I'm going to use watercolor for the grass. Let's just do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to grab some of this like limey green. And is this dry? Yes, it is. That doesn't look bad. I'm going to definitely add some darker parts though. Oh, thank you so much. Boop, boop. I might even go in again with like a acrylic. And I'm just going to have some of these pop off the edge. I actually saw a video the other day that showed there's a candy version of the green grass that you put in baskets. Like you can actually eat it. Like you can eat the green grass, which in my brain is wild. Okay, I'm going to hit this with some heat for sure right now. And then we'll add maybe some more darker green to those little grasses. We're also going to decorate the eggs. And we're definitely going to do that eyeball. And I think I probably should put some more green over the top of the basket. So it's like how it's sticking out on the side, it should probably come down this way as well. Okay. I used marker before. Let's do it again. I think I'm going to go in with a warmer tone though. Let's use this one. And then, do I do it? No, not yet. Let me go over it with some pencil. I need to sharpen this though. It's gotten pretty dull. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Oh, the things that happen when you're going live. I agree. I love Big League. Apple is the best, CJ. I love, love, love that flavor. I actually really like the High Chew green apple as well. And what's the other green apple that I like? Oh, I like Peeler's green apple, but you can't find those very easily. All right, let me go in here and play with this little bunny a little bit. I'm just going to sharpen up some of these edges. And by the edges, I mean more like outlining the parts of the bunny that I want to pop more off the page. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of color contrast here and there. The bunny also is falling kind of into the basket from behind, so you're not really seeing the bottom of it here and there. The bunny also is falling kind of into the basket from behind, so you're not really seeing the bottom of it. Let's also use this pencil for the outside here. There we go. That feels a little bit better. So I'm just using the I'm just adding a little bit of darkness into there again. You know what? This feels like a wooden basket. I'm just going to lean into it. You know, that's okay though. Watercolor and cookie frosting are not going to be the same, CJ, clearly. Apparently, they're going to give you a harder time. And I mean, I don't know that there's a right answer for one particular color of basket. I think baskets can be, is that the issue? Is it the color? Yeah. I think like basket colors can differ. I mean, you could do this in like a really bright pink or a really bright yellow and have just an amazing impact. All right, let's go in. I did not want that sky blue. I want this blue. Yes, look at the bombastic side eye on that guy. Oh, he's not having it. He knows you're going to bite him. He's like, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. All right, let's decorate these eggs. And actually, before I do that, let me add a little bit more grass. I'm going to use this marker this time. Oh, that's way too light. Well, that's not so bad. Actually, don't mind that. So like a little bit of this yellow, this really light pale yellow. It actually shows up pretty well in the basket. Let's try the green too. Okay. I mean, I could go crazy on those. I should probably chill out before it gets too nuts. And then we're out of control and then there's grass everywhere. Oh, hey, Chels. Did you drop the kids off or are you waiting at drop off? Is that what's happening? All right. And, ooh, let's go in here and add some detail to these little guys. I'm thinking of a stripe for this one. And then, you know what? I'm going to use sparkle. I'm going to use sparkle pens because I haven't pulled those out yet. That's a 3D pen. I don't want a 3D pen. I want a sparkle pen. Because we're going to finish this guy up. We're almost done. So I have the cutest little... I put all of my pens in this little like flower container and it spins. I feel so much better about that. Let's do this glow. Let's use this. Is this a sparkly one? Yes, it is. Hello, Heidi. How are you? All right. I'm just going to go in and do some like rounded stripes like this. It's kind of a wide egg, apparently. As I'm going in and doing this, it feels a little bit wider than it probably is, but that's okay. Let's go in here and do the same thing. These are sparkle, by the way. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that. Of course you can. And these are a cheaper sparkle than the other ones I usually use. So I'll just post those if anybody wants to look at them. They're from Saspu. Here we are. There you go. I think with this one, I'm going to do little polka dots kind of tucked under here. And then where the grass is, I might just go over it again. Actually, that's what I'm going to do, because otherwise I'm going to have a hard time trying to figure out where everything goes. Like trying to tuck it behind and make it perfect. I'll just go back over it with the grass. In a minuto. Let's get some polka dots in there. That's also sparkly. And then maybe with the pink, we change up the color. Maybe we do some stars. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see those stars? They're a little more subtle because of the layering over the pink, because the pink is so bright. Okay. Really? I used my touch screen to zoom, and I'm able to do it okay. It doesn't give me a problem. Hi, Bindi. Thank you. You can kind of see the lines in there underneath where I drew it. Oh, well, I don't care. Actually, what I might do is might go over with crayon. Let's do one more bit. I think this is pretty good, though. One more bit. We'll go in here just a little bit. Just cover up a little bit of those lines. Nothing significant. I don't need to redo the whole thing. And oh, I know what I need to do. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna go in here a few more bits on this guy. If I'm gonna use it in one spot, we use it in a number of different spots. I don't know if I could say, the last time I went live on TikTok was probably, I don't even know, maybe early last week. I don't care to go live as much as I used to. I need a darker green here. Let's go. Is this dry? No, it is not. I'm going to hit this with some heat, and then I'm going to go over this again with the green grass so it pops. How was work today, Bindi? I have a staff development day on Friday, so today feels like Friday Eve. Even though it's not, it feels like it is. What color am I going to use on this grass? I need something. I just feel like the grass is somehow lacking. Like it needs something else, and I feel like it just needs to be darkened up. Like it doesn't pop enough off the page for me. Let's try this one. Ooh, that one looks pretty good. I'm not going to put it on every part. I'm going to put it on the tip and maybe where things connect a little bit. See, that pops a little bit more, yeah? A little bit more vibrant. Thank you. Oh no, you had a bad day yesterday? Yeesh. Yeah, so today, I gotta tell you this story. This is crazy. So I have lunch duty with 7th graders. And I mean, it's possible one of them is popping in on this live right now. I really don't care because they're welcome to do that. It's a free world. Even though it would be illegal for them potentially if they're 12. But anyway, a 7th grader today stole someone's chocolate milk and put it in the hood of their hoodie, which in and of itself is dumb. Like, it's dumb. Like, why are you doing that? You can't think of better things to do. And then that student realizes, the one whose milk was stolen, realized it was in his hoodie and proceeded to smash the hood of the hoodie. So where do you think all that chocolate milk went? Right down that kid's hood and hoodie and on the floor. I'm like, are you serious? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. That's a middle schooler for you. So impulsive, you know? But that was actually, I mean, that was probably the most complicated part of my day. So I'm grateful for that. That's for sure. And should we give him a little pink cheek or should we make it dark? I know, it's so ridiculous. Hi, Libby. Guys, this is cutie. I like ye. I need a bit more green over here, though, I think. I'm just going to say my favorite part is his little side eye. He is looking at all of you and saying, get out of here. I am not interested in any of this. Okay. How I feel. All right, here's how I feel. I'm going to add a bit more dark to this green because right now I've got a whole lot of like really great contrast happening around the illustration. I want the eggs to be sharper. I'm going to add a little bit of darker bits to them and darker bits to the leaves. But I think I'm just going to do this with black. And I'm going to use my Art Pop one. I just need to sharpen it. And try not to drop it all over like last time. That is a perfect sharpened pencil. Okay. I'm going to sharpen up some of these stars, if you couldn't tell what I was doing. I just want those little stars to be a little bit more obvious. And I don't want them so obvious that like they take over, but I want them to pop off a little bit. And then over here, I'm going to add a little bit more darkness to some of these stripes. And then, as I said before, I want the grass to not just be green. I want it to have a bit more of an illustrative intention. I don't know if that's a real thing. It's just a phrase I made up. It sounded good. CJ, how you doing? I know you're drawing or painting with me, yes? Not that this is a tutorial that anyone had to paint or draw with me, but I'm pretty sure, CJ, you implied you were making some Easter bunnies and baskets over there, or chocolatey ones anyways. Do you see how much more interesting that looks now that I just added all of that little bit of darkness in there? I'm also going to have this crossover a little bit here and there so that the egg is genuinely hiding behind all the grass. And then I have to decide what my kids are having for dinner tonight because I do not know. I might just do something from, I got the orange chicken from Trader Joe's, and that's a huge hit in my house usually. So, all right, I'm going to darken this eyeball. And then I might give this bunny a few speckles on the chest, like that. Oh my God, it's so cute. Am I done? Am I done? Am I done? I might be done. I was meticulously trying to weave the basket and then just painted over it. Yes, friend. Yes. Do you see? Mine looks like wood. Mine is a wooden basket, I've decided. It's not a woven. I was going to say weaven. It's not a woven basket. It is a wooden basket because apparently that's the only thing I know how to do without a reference. My husband is making some kind of chuck roast, but in a Mexican food kind of way with tortillas. Ooh, actually, I should do that, April. Thank you for reminding me. I told my kids we would do tacos this week. I should probably take out some ground beef and like put that business in the microwave to defrost it because they've been craving it. I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a weave with my pencil, just a little bit on the outside. Do you see what I'm doing there? I'm just adding a little bit of line here and there and here and there to imply that it's wrapping itself around. So much of this stuff is like an in the moment. This looks good. I think it's I say this probably because I don't plan enough. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the plan that we lose the joy, and the plan doesn't go well, then you give up on the plan. You think it's a failure when it's not. It's not at all. Okay. Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. It's so good. Yep. I agree. Well, it's funny. I feel like gouache is funny, CJ, because the plan with gouache is knowing, at least in my practice, it's more acrylic like, it's more build up. So, and not that you have to do this because there's no rules in art, but I find that with watercolor, starting light and building dark seems to work most of the time better for me. Not that I can't do it the other way, obviously, but I find that with gouache, if I start dark and go light, it works better like acrylics, which is really fun. I think it's really freeing too, because you're not feeling as obligated to what's underneath unless it's water-based, which water-based gouache can sometimes impact when you're painting over the top, even if it's dry. Thank you so much, Libby. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm sure it does smell amazing. I'm going to go make some dinner for my kidlings. So there's the side view. Thank you, Aisha. I appreciate you. Look at that. Nice and close. Actually, I have to zoom because you can't see the sparkly unless I zoom. Look how cute he is. And there's the sparkly. Oh my God. And the funny thing is, if I look at it with my real eyes, it doesn't look as good as it does in camera. Just going to say it. Look how cute in that bombastic side eye. So cute. Oh, Adrian, can you send me a photo of what you painted? Oh, Anna, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm actually going to be posting a tutorial similar to this. Not like exactly this one, but I'll be posting it tomorrow. Let me show you. This one's going up tomorrow on my feed. And it'll be kind of it won't be a slow one, but it'll definitely go on my feed. Oh, I would love to see it, Adrian. I would love to see it. So this one's going up tomorrow, but I like this one more. I think it's the textures, and I think it's the side eye, because this one doesn't have the side eye as well. This one just looks clueless. This one definitely has a side eye. So fun. Guys, well, I had the best time. I'm going to go make dinner, and you all have an amazing night, okay?